I hate talking stages. Not because I can't talk, but because it's the most dishonest part of dating. It's the only part in a long standing relationship where everyone pretends that they don't care, while caring the most. It's like having intimacy but with an exit button. At any time, there's a quick switch up of the relationship, and you get ghosted here and there. Look, if you've ever been in one, you know the rules are sort of invisible and you'll still get punished for somehow breaking them. Oh, you can't talk to this girl. We're in a situationship. You can't do this. Why wouldn't you include me in this? There are a lot of situations in talking stages where you feel isolated. You don't feel isolated because you're with someone. You feel isolated from everyone else. Talking stages are the epitome of getting your soul sucked dry. What I mean by that is you essentially lose interest in everything that doesn't revolve around that person. You start hanging out less with your real friends, the people who've been there for you for multiple years, and you just sort of naturally stop keeping your options open for other people. The saddest part with a talking stage, in my opinion, if it doesn't work out for you, is that because you were so focused on that one person, you may have just let your soulmate slip away through your fingers because you didn't give them enough attention because you were talking to this other person. And one of the main problems with talking stages is you act like you're together, but you aren't. Being in a talking stage is one of the easiest band aid solutions you can use to get constant soft access to someone else's emotional being without true accountability because there's no label. If that person decides to look elsewhere tomorrow, you'll be left alone and you won't really be able to call them out because no matter what, you weren't together. That'll be the excuse, right? You weren't together, you were just in a talking stage. It sort of feels like dating someone without the actual safety net of dating. The trust you develop with someone over time doesn't exist in a talking stage relationship, right? But yet you are expected by societal norms to have commitment towards that person. So, at face value, talking stages seem like a great way to discover who someone is without risking much. It's like a net positive, right? But it feels so draining because your brain can't relax when you're in a talking stage with someone, especially if you're a classic lover boy. You keep interpreting everything that the other person does and somehow take it as an attack towards yourself. I'll give you an example. You can receive the same text, "Hey, how are you?" from your girlfriend versus someone you're in a talking stage with. Your girlfriend texts you, "Hey, how are you?" You'll just say fine and, your day will go on. If it's a talking stage, however, you're way much more likely to start reading into the meaning and the tone that the person has. You'll look at the emojis used. You'll keep refreshing your story to check out if the person you're in a talking stage with has seen it. And unfortunately, this mysterious maybe part of the relationship, maybe she'll be the one, maybe it'll work out. This maybe, quote unquote, is totally addictive, right? You keep checking your phone like it's a slot machine. The talking stage is gambling with your nervous system. One of my great friends, we'll call him A, recently got into a talking stage with someone. He is one of the most secure people that I know in terms of relationships. However, ever since he's gotten into the talking stage, he's very anxious. He is in constant rumination over what she's gonna do. His areas of interest basically shape themselves to work with that person's interests. He basically tries to perform too much. I'm not gonna say he's performative because that's not really what he does. It's more so that he tries to be the cool option for that person. I'd even go as far to say that instead of being performative, in order to win at a talking stage, you need to hide your needs to avoid being too much for that person. You don't speak up when you're uncomfortable or when you don't feel good in a situation because you're scared that you'll scare them off. I don't know if that makes sense, but in my opinion, the talking stage trains you to abandon who you are, abandon yourself. Instead of being truly honest with yourself and with that person, you start to create this version of yourself and You become strategic. You start editing your personality like you're almost applying for a job. All in all, the biggest problem that there is with talking stages, in my opinion, is replaceability. You always feel replaceable. You keep ruminating on this thought that, if you mess it up once, you're out. They're gonna block you, they're gonna ghost you, and it won't even matter. They're gonna forget your entire existence within a month. It makes you start to tolerate nonsense, inconsistency, mixed signals, stuff like that from the person you're in a talking stage with. And I guess it sort of just goes back to the fact that you're essentially almost auditioning for a job, for a role that you already deserve. We all deserve love. We don't need to sell ourselves to find love. I feel like most people do end up going into these talking stages just to feel emotional connection with someone, but they're too afraid to feel trapped in a relationship. I think the remedy to all this situation is to be clear with your intentions. Too many people just put in so much efforts in relationships while the other person implicated in the relationship is not interested in having one. And they'll entertain you because social media has conditioned us to be dopamine driven and seek validation from others. Social media has made us addicted to options, not commitment. In my eyes, healthy talking stages should just be short and forward moving. Unlike most talking stages, it shouldn't just go back and forth and build onto nothing. Both parties should, not necessarily be perfect at who they presents themselves to be. They shouldn't be perfect at being consistent in texting or whatever, but they should be able to give stable and durable efforts if their end goal is to get in a relationship. I'm very lucky to be in a relationship and it's been about a year, so I guess this is more advice and ranting because of what happened with my friend A recently. And maybe this video makes me look like an antisocial prick, but you have to realize I don't hate talking to someone. It's not about that. I just hate feeling like I have to pretend I'm okay with uncertainty for no reason, especially when it comes to a relationship that will significantly and tangibly impact my real life, my day to day life for multiple years. And I've always hated investing energy into someone who is essentially keeping the door open for other people. If you want me, just choose me. If you're unsure, don't borrow me and disallow me from developing true, meaningful, deep connections and relationships with other people. I don't want vibes, I want direction. I want someone who knows what they want. And I'm very lucky to have found that person. What do you guys think? Do you guys prefer clear labels early or the more go with the flow vibe? Because I do understand why some people do like the go with the flow vibe as well. Anyways, thank you so much for coming onto this yapping session of mine. If you guys enjoy videos like this and want more, please leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later.